Well, that was half the game was the worst thing I've ever seen, and the latter half was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Terrible performance by the special teams today in every face of the game. Um, Laviska Shenault with two drops on kick returns that I believe we lost one of them, and then D Williams with his drop. Or wait, maybe not. Maybe Laviska didn't
No,
lose the
you
fumble.
you had that spot on.
Okay,
D Williams just straight up fumbled. Laviska dropped it twice, and one of them he dropped, picked up, dove forward, tripping, and then fumbled
right.
again.
Okay, yeah, that's what yeah, I was trying to block that out of my memory. So,
Yeah,
um,
I hate that you were correct because as you started off, that was probably the worst special teams performance I've ever seen. And, a lot of people are going to get on Jay Harbaugh for that, our special teams coordinator. And I mean, I guess, but like, I don't really know what you do about your players just executing that poorly. I don't feel like guys were in the wrong position today. It was just a historically bad special teams day. So,
I
how,
mean, Jay Harbaugh didn't drop the kickoff three
why?
times.
Yeah, exactly. So, the biggest point of criticism as far as the staff goes is why are those guys still on this team? They need to go. Find someone on the street to return kicks. I'm sure, sign D. Eskridge off the Dolphins practice squad if you have to. Like, this shit cannot go on any
I know it
longer.
really made you kind of almost miss D. Eskridge and what he can do out
Yeah,
there on
I
the field
mean,
because
for all he never did for us, he never dropped the fucking kickoff twice in a game. So, yeah, I we could spend a good like half this podcast just talking about how epically bad the special teams was today.
hmm
But bottom line is, through one of the dumbest, weirdest, strangest, most Seahawk ugly games I've ever watched, uh, we get the dub, 26 to 21. And frankly, I think I mean, it literally is the most important thing to say about this game. Getting into the stats overall today, both offenses were terrible, us
hmm
and the Jets. We had 259 total yards. The Jets had 258 total yards. So just putrid all the way around. Neither team could really run the ball. Neither team could really get open. And both teams gave up multiple sacks. Let's see here. We gave up three, and we only got to Rodgers twice, both of which I believe, were our defensive player of the game today for sure, Leonard Williams.
Yeah, well, what I was gonna say was we really only gave up what was it? One true touchdown to the Jets early on because they got that kick return touchdown, which
Mhm.
awful. And then they got that touchdown from D. Williams fumble. And then the first touchdown to Devontae Adams, that was really the only one I felt like they like earned
I honestly,
offensively.
I don't think they earned any of their points offensively today because their one touchdown drive to Adams, I believe, or maybe it was the Isaiah Davis toss play, they get sacked on third down, them the Jets, and Leonard Williams' finger just unluckily is in the bottom of Rodgers' face mask. So
hmm
it would have been a fourth and like 30, and instead it's like first and 10 at the 11-yard line or whatever. That was a huge play in this game. If Leonard Williams' hand is an inch lower, then we could have pitched a shutout, really,
hmm
defensively. Lost in the shuffle with this game, I think, is just going to be how good our defense was and how good they had to be to even give us a chance. Because, as you said, every single Jets score here, every single one of their points, there's kind of an asterisk on it. There's what I just
Yeah.
described about the face mask. There's the short field that they got off of the horrendous special teams fumble, and then, wow, I actually forgot that their other touchdown was the uh,
Kick
kick
return.
return
Yeah.
because
So we
that.
really shut them down. We didn't give up any points in the second half. So I thought the player or play of the game was the defense for sure.
Oh yeah, and the biggest play in this game by far, because to take a snapshot of midway through, I believe the second quarter, or deep into the second quarter
Yeah,
rather.
there was like seven
We're
minutes left or something when it happened.
Yeah, we're down 21-7, and it's second and 10 on our like 20 something yard line. And Rodgers throws to a wide open Garrett Wilson in the corner of the end zone, and he just airmails it. And at that point, we like things were just, going so poorly for us. I was about ready to be like, okay, we just, we fucked up today and we're gonna lose. The next play, the very next play, Leonard Williams tips it up to himself and returns it 92 yards. Unbelievable. The 2 game run Leonard Williams has had here has been the greatest 2 game run I've seen out of a defensive lineman for the Seahawks ever. And I know that sounds like a bold statement, but how do you get any better than like 4.5 sacks in 2 games and a touchdown and an interception and who knows how many QB hits and tackles for loss? Just like Aaron Donald-esque performance from Big Cat.
Yeah, no, he definitely was the man out there today. And I felt like we also did a pretty good job stopping the run. I mean, I know we gave up
Yeah,
89 yards, but and 4.2 yards per play, but still, I
I'll
holding
kind
them
of
under
take
100
that.
yards rushing, I like that's a solid performance right there.
I'll take that any day of the week, to be honest. And Rodgers dropped back to throw, I think, over 40 times. Yeah, 41 times today. And he only got 185 yards out of it. That's, again, like, I'll take that any day of the week when the
Yeah, well, he
guy's
had two
throwing.
touchdowns in the first quarter. It's
Mhm.
like, Jesus, I thought we were gonna get routed by vintage Rodgers today, but the defense settled in. The offense settled down. The special teams stopped making mistakes eventually. Um, so
Just
yeah.
barely. Just barely. Because also, there's so much weird about this game. We haven't even got into the fact that on our game winning drive, we were stopped dead to rights like 3 times. And then a idiotic Jets penalty gave us life again. Like that happened so many times. But also, we couldn't punt the ball in the fourth quarter because Dixon got hurt. So
Hmm.
we're literally in a situation where we have to go for it every fourth down, outside of field goal range. And at that point, we were down by, I believe, 4, so or something. We were down by more than a field goal.
Was it? Yeah, it was 21 to 19, wasn't it? Or yeah,
I
because we
guess
won 21 to 26 or
yeah.
21. Yeah, I don't remember.
It's hard to
But
remember, but our game-winning drive that we had today, I put air quotes on that because it was the dumbest game-winning drive of all time. But we got the victory. Charbonnet, he finally got through on a couple nice runs today. We had a couple nice Kenneth Walker runs get called back as well. So there's signs of life in the run game. It's still bad, but man, the way this defense is playing right now, the emergence of Kobe Bryant at safety, getting Tyrese Knight in there, making the trade to Ernest Jones, and getting our guys healthy again. I I don't think it's a fluke at this point. I think we are fielding an elite defense right now, and it is so awesome to see because I
we,
know. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say we look like the most dominant team in the NFC West right now. Like as
For
far
sure.
relative to the other teams in our division. Like that,
Yeah.
I just think we right now are playing the best football. Our defense, since the bye week, I should really pull up some numbers since the bye week because I'm curious to see where they rank since
Yeah.
that week.
I would even go back to the Rams game. It's really after the Bills game, this defense has been like a top 10 minimum defense, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
the last 2 games in particular, they've literally won the game for us. They've scored 2 touchdowns. And when they were back with their backs against the wall in a couple situations, they held firm and didn't let a game slip out of reach. So it's the biggest thing that's making me believe like maybe we really can make something happen with this season because the division is well within our grasp, especially with this Arizona game coming up this week or next week.
Hmm.
You win that, and you're really in the driver's seat down the stretch here to where that last game of the year might not even matter, depending on how things play out. Um, but I do want to talk about Ryan Grubb real quick because that sequence where you had 7 plays inside the 4 yard line and you come away with nothing. And not only do you come away with nothing, but you go from having the ball at the Jets half-yard line to the Jets having it on their 16-yard line, so fucking bad, dude. I don't know if I've ever
Well,
seen a goal to go stretch of plays worse than what we saw there.
I actually was not that surprised by it personally because I remember a couple Husky games from last year, the Apple Cup included. The Huskies basically had it wrapped up on like the Cougs 35-yard line late in the game, and then they just kept passing.
I
And
remember
like
that.
Penix, I think almost threw a pick late game, and it was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Just run it 3 times. But OCs have their style, I guess, and his was just find the open. I don't know. It's not what I would have done, but
My thought, the thing that pisses me off the most about it is obviously that we didn't score, but when it came to fourth down on the half-yard line, you don't even really have a choice. I think you just do the sneak there. Because even if you don't get it, okay, you're not going to lose yardage on a sneak in all likelihood.
yeah,
So,
you just do the tush push, and then they have
yeah.
it on the half-yard line if we don't get it.
Yeah, and then maybe you get a safety the next play. Like it's really like it sucks, but it's not the end of the world if you get stuffed on a QB sneak on fourth down at the half-yard line. It's really not that big of a deal. But having a sprint out play to the left when the Jets are blitzing and no one gets open and like just all of that was so abysmally bad. Just I don't I'm struggling to find words for it because it's
Also, Gino taking the sack there rather than just throwing it away. They would at
I,
least still have the ball at the one.
right. I mean, like throw it out of the back of the end zone if no one's there.
Yeah,
My only thought with because if it's like there's 3 seconds left, just throw the ball up and hope for the best.
right.
But the Rams game comes to mind where he's under pressure, tries to throw it, pick six the other way. That ultimately cost us that game.
Hmm.
So I would rather have him take the sack as opposed to that. But in that situation, I just feel like running had to be the call there. Just even seeing us line up in the shotgun from the half-yard line is like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I feel like we're just gonna have to maybe get used to that. Because it just seems like that's gonna be our style.
It's just part of the grub hub. There's
Well,
no,
and I just think our blocking is just so unreliable that the coaches know that. And maybe it's a matchup thing.
mm. I will say today though, I didn't think like the offensive line wasn't good. I'm not gonna say they were good. Cross got smoked by Will McDonald on one play today. But I thought the other two sacks were more or less coverage sacks where Gino just kind of held on to the ball forever. And
Hmm.
then, you know, like they gave him time.
Yeah.
But uh and then in the run game, like we're still not getting a very efficient yards per carry count, but I didn't think beyond a false start by Laumea, I didn't think he was a clear downgrade from what we've been having at right guard. So
Hmm.
it was kind of a curious decision this week by Coach McDonald to start Sataoa Laumea over Christian Haynes. But Christian Haynes must have like insulted McDonald's mom week 1 of training camp or something because he hates that guy. He will not play Christian Haynes.
Yeah, maybe it's like a character issue or so. I don't know. Like who can tell at this point because I barely see him out there. So
Yeah, I mean, at least, he is guard depth for the next 2 years after this. So I still don't hate that we took him because, like, he's an
maybe he's a
NFL player.
project guard. I'm not gonna pretend that I know a whole lot about like the interior depths of that position. So
I'm with you. Maybe they try him at another position next year or something. He is a 24-year-old rookie, and he played a lot in college. So you would kind of have expected him to be a little better starting off. But
hmm.
I mean, for being a rookie going up against a guy like Quinnen Williams, I thought Satoa held up just fine. I
Yeah.
didn't think he was a problem today, but yeah, I really hope this offense finds a way to be more similar to how we were against Detroit
Hmm.
eventually this season. Because man, with the way this defense is playing, if we can even get to half as good as we were playing against Detroit, they could really go somewhere this year. There's not a team I'm gonna be feeling hopeless against, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no. I like our chances, especially if we're what, the 3 seed right now.
And that's
Guarantee.
likely gonna hold because no one in the NFC South seems to want to win that division. So
Yeah. Yeah, Kirk Cousins looked absolutely horrendous today.
might be Penix time soon. It's getting to the point where just not even for the future, but for the now, I'd consider putting Penix in if I was the Falcons. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we'll
you
we'll see what
might as well get him his reps because I mean, they're not they're looking like they're letting the season slip, especially with the Bucks winning today.
for sure. So I guess overall, I'm glad we contained Rodgers. I'm glad we finally beat him on the road. First time we've ever done that since he's
Oh.
been a starter in the league, which I
Hmm.
didn't even realize today, but think back to it, we've never won in Green Bay as long as you and I have been alive, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So this would have been the first time to do it. So yeah, I'm just glad we took I really felt kind of all week in the back of my mind this was a trap game because I think this Jets team is a lot better than their record.
Hmm.
But they're dysfunctional as all hell, and it's why they didn't win today. They should have beaten us today. When your special teams dominates that hard from the Jets perspective, to not come away with a win is like pretty bad. Pretty,
That's a swift kick to the nuts.
yeah.
But the Jets are used to that by now. So
And they just clinched another losing season, so the misery continues in New Jersey. So sad.
the drought
Um,
continues with their non-playoff season.
yeah.
Sorry, Jets.
And what's funnier about that is their last playoff quarterback, Mark Sanchez, was commentating today.
Yeah.
And the guy they drafted in 2013, Gino, comes home and beats them. Leonard Williams was a New York Jet draft pick. So I'm glad
He was
after
a,
all,
he was?
yep, he was drafted by the Jets 2017.
Oh.
So yeah, just a great revenge game all around for everybody, including commentary. Taking a look ahead to next week, we got a couple interesting matchups. Obviously, we're playing the Cardinals and buckle up again.
Hmm.
I mean, we'll save most of that talk for our preview this week, but anticipate that being another defensive slugfest. The Rams are playing the Bills at home, and I really would be shocked if the Bills didn't find a way to win that game. And then
Hmm.
the 49ers, who are really reeling right now and are playing the Bills, that game just kicked off right now. They're
Yeah, it's
playing
3-0 Niners right now.
oh, the Bears are coming to San Fran next week. So it's not out of question, I think, to have us coming out of next week with like a solid 2 game lead in this division. So it's crazy as bad as this team has looked at times this year. Everything you could have hoped for at the start of the season is still on the table.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if the Cardinals are going to play with a little bit more firepower next week since the game will be in Arizona and it won't be wet and rainy. Because that's what the situation was for our game against them last week, and Kyler played bad. So,
My counter to that is our offense has been way better on the road and in domes, like when we went to Detroit.
hmm.
So maybe Gino goes off in a way that he hasn't in a couple months here.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Yeah, I'm honestly more worried about James Conner than anything on that Cardinals team. But we've been doing a really good job stopping the run lately.
Hmm.
Oh, we got Chargers and Chiefs. That's going to be a good one. I would love to see the Chargers fucking knock off those frauds.
For Sunday night.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be a good game.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I had for this one.
Yeah, yeah, same here.
I guess one last note, DK went down with a scary looking injury, went into the tent, but finished the game. So hopefully he's fine. I didn't notice any significant injuries on our end during this game. So we're going into December here pretty dang healthy,
Hmm.
which is definitely encouraging to see.
Yeah, sorry, I was just got sidetracked there. It's really coming down in
Oh, the
Buffalo right
snow.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to turn that game on.
Yeah, it looks cold as hell. Looks even worse than in the in Cleveland, just as
Well,
far as the wind.
I saw on the news on like Friday that there's a huge lake snow effect going on in the Great Lakes region where Buffalo is on like I think it's like Lake Ontario or something.
Hmm.
Um, so that's probably what that is that giant snowstorm in the Great Lakes.
Yeah. Wow. It's oh, Josh. Oh, overthrown. Yeah, probably going to be a lot of those tonight. But yeah, that's all I had for this one. Great dub. And we're on to Arizona, on to buckle up. We'll probably have to take a plane there, not the bus, but that's all right because we're going to win.
We got that fire in our gut.
All right. Well, yeah, that's all I got. If you have anything more you want to add, I got some homework for Hawk Talk. I want to pull up our numbers for uh, how we've fared since the bye week. So
Hmm.
that'll be my little homework over the next couple days.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited that we're, you know, still in this position this late into the season. So
Yeah,
let's go.
yeah, it's great. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. See you later.